2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Amal, and joining me tonight I have Carl, Andy, George, and Mus. We are the Monday Blues, coming off the back of a loss to the Brisbane Lions in our first preliminary final in a very, very long time. And that one hurt. I think that one hurt a lot. Gentlemen, how are we doing? Carl, I'll pass it off to you.
Where do you start? I think it really hasn't sunk in yet. I don't know. It's just weird, I guess. And last time we played a final was 2013. Wasn't even a prelim. Obviously, this hurts a lot more. Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know, man. It's probably a bit hard to describe it, but yeah, shattered, I guess. But I guess we we have to move on. Yeah.
Andy, how are you?
I'm conflicted because super proud of the boys making it that far, that whole story, but also very, very, very disappointed, very angry at the boys. The more time that's gone on, I'm getting less and less proud and more angry. But yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle, I think. Moss?
A lot of mixed emotions, and I think as the days go on and the build up for that big day probably gets worse. It's bittersweet in a sense of there's a lot of good stories that came out of 2023. Development of a lot of good players, but also a lot of players that I feel needed to stand up a little bit more, in such a big game. I'm probably still in that shock state. I mean, there's going to be a result either way. One was going to win, one was going to lose, but don't think I was prepared for that. George?
Yeah, all of the above. It was a hell of a ride. I think it's also a bit delirious, the fact that we got home like an hour ago from Brizzy, late Sunday night as well, so with flight delays and all that stuff. But incredible first final series for the club in a decade, right? Something to build on. Our best season in 2 decades, but empty, hollow. Thinking of what if, and then wanting to think about next Saturday, and what could have been as well. You're so close, and when you're the last 4, and you go out like that, it's obviously not. It's hard not to be obviously cut up about it and disappointed. Yeah, you have to be proud, obviously, from where we were, but there's always going to be this pain and this hollowness, and all the fans will be, and I'm sure the players will be as well. It's how we take it and move forward from it, I guess, and what we learn from it.
Yeah. Huge build-up during the week leading up to the game. A couple of the boys, you went up. George, Mus, Andy, how was your time in Brizzy?
Mus? I'll let you start.
I think a lot of we were there for 30, 40 odd hours. We were there for one night ultimately, so we purely flew up for the game. So everything sort of was around the game and around the build up to that game. So there wasn't much else apart from trying to get some sleep in, sort of, because it was a really early flight. I think we were at the airport just before 5 a.m. So Saturday morning. Where do I start? It was, mate, from when we left our home in the morning to, that opening bounce when everyone was in their seat and it felt like a Carlton home game. Everybody was up and about. It was navy blue everywhere. Everywhere you looked, everywhere you turned around. And it's funny, today we walked out of the room and it was totally different. Obviously, lots in between there, but I don't know. Maybe you can give us a bit more detail of sort of what sort of transpired? George, Andy?
Saturday, like you said, Melbourne Airport was awash with navy blue. Just supporters, the nod to each other, the acknowledgement and whatnot on the plane. Me and Andy are walking to our seat, and I was just like, do you reckon I start a bit of a da-da-da-da-da? It's to start a bit of a chant, and then one bloke in the first few, I was like, mate, you start it back there. I'll bring it up back here. It was just Carlton gear everywhere. Right? It was amazing. And I thought about it, like, when we got to Brisbane, we saw just how much Carlton gear was everywhere as well. And Carlton supporters, I thought, like, following the English Premier League and away days and things like that, I'm like, this is the closest thing to an away day and like a taking over a city. It was incredible. We walked around, was it Queen Street Mall and whatnot. I think I saw like one Brisbane Lions jersey. There was a lot of Brisbane Broncos out and about. They were very proud to show off that, but it was a sea of navy blue. Insane. Like, media covered it as well and whatnot. It actually felt like a home game. We felt like Melbourne, Carlton fans just descended upon Brisbane in droves. So the hype was huge, and I'm sure we'll cover the pre-game stuff as well. But Andy, any thoughts from you?
Yeah, I'll never travel with Moose again. I'll just get that out in the open.
Not that it's the first time, though.
It's definitely not the
Probably
first
in a
time.
few years, though.
I'm sure it won't be the last. But yeah, just everything the boys said. It really. George used the word tribal over the weekend, and that's exactly how it felt. It felt like we were going to war on enemy territory, and we were everywhere. It was so good. It was such a great experience. I think that's why it hurts more. Because we were there, and there were thousands on thousands of others who were there, and yeah, like, look, it was always going to be an uphill battle against the best, arguably, the team in the league, but it felt great to be amongst so many diehard supporters.
And that's like the member event we went to at the Plough Inn. That was the one organised by the club. I know there was one organised by the cheer squad as well. I think at a bar nearby, which was apparently chaos as well. There was a lot of fans there, and which was great. They're turning out in numbers as well, and it was jam packed. But our one, I think I heard there was like 850 people, and it was loud. They were spilling over the street. Obviously, everyone behaving and whatnot as well. Chants going up. A few ex-players. I think it was Tommy Elvin, a couple others. Mitch Robinson. Shout out to Mitch Robinson. Gave us a bit of a shout out as well. Nice to have a few words with him. So he was there in his match-worn, player-worn Carlton jersey as well. But the tangible excitement, and then that whole group basically marching to the Gabba.
Scooting.
We scootering to the Gabba in our case. But yeah, that just felt like, and that's when we got to the Gabba, and it peaked for me when before the game, like it was just a sea of navy blue, pretty much one half of the ground in very full voice, and probably one of the best bits was Danaher and Hipwood, who stayed behind after the Brisbane players were doing their drills, just before they sort of have their entrance, and they were staying behind to do some set shot training. And you've got about 14 or 15,000 Carlton fans just booing and Bronx cheers and whatnot, and then they just kept missing. They kept missing shots, and every time they'd miss, there'd be a Bronx cheer from the Carlton fans, and then they'd make one, and then the Brisbane fans would try and G up, but they were drowned out with the noise of all these Carlton fans, just literally like. And I'm talking, these are the jeers and the boos that you'd hear, fourth quarter, an opposition player is going for a shot for goal. That's how loud it was. It wasn't just a pocket here or there. It was 14,000 people in full voice. So it was just like we're here, like we are on your territory, but look at the numbers. It was, so that was special before the game, and then
that part was huge. George. That was actually, for me, I was actually thinking about it before, sort of what happened yesterday, and sort of just reflecting a little bit. That Hipwood and Danaher moment for me was probably the biggest highlight that I have to take away, and it was before the game. It was massive. It felt like 90,000 people. It was insane. So and everyone was just in sync. I think towards the end they were actually missing on purpose just to see if we could get louder. But yeah, that was really good.
Carl, you and I weren't able to make it across to Brisbane, unfortunately, but we managed to get ourselves to Icon Park. The club set up a live site and they had 4 massive screens going. Share with the listeners and the viewers our experience at Icon Park on Saturday evening.
Actually, I like what they did there. I like how it was set up, well organised. Had some bands playing there. Had a couple of pop up things there going, coffees and all whatnot. It was a good event. Probably 5,000-7,000 people there.
Yeah, quite easily.
There was one annoying thing that I didn't like. It's supposed to be an only members event, but yet you had Brisbane supporters in there. Not too
Was
sure
it a
how
members only event?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
too
but
sure.
members only for Carlton means everybody.
Yeah, 100%.
Literally.
It was a good event. Crowd was up and going. We heard that on the screen on the TV. They said that there about the Danaher and Hipwood every time they'd miss. I think it was can't remember who said it, but they did say that. But no, it was a good event. It was chockers. It was rocking. It was loud.
Yeah.
Felt like you actually had a game. It did, Amal, yeah.
Oh yeah,
The
absolutely.
crowd was loud. Like it was very loud. It was good, man. It was just unfortunate of the result, but no, overall, it was a good but sad night.
Yeah, fantastic effort from the club to set that up in such short notice as well. They had a really good setup going on Saturday evening, so well done to the Carlton Football Club for that. They bounced the ball for the first quarter for the start of the game, and man, we really came out the gates like we wanted to win. We came out to win, and we came out to play hard. What was the feel at the ground, Andy?
Oh man, it was wild. Like we kicked the first, we kicked the second, we kicked the third. Like, what is happening? It felt great. I knew Brisbane were going to come, so I was like trying not to get too excited. But it was so contagious. Just the Blues fans were so loud. They were just running like, man, we ran amok on Brisbane. They were petrified in that first quarter. Every time they went near the ball, even if they were alone, they were just buckling. You know, and you could see, and the energy around the ground, the buzz was awesome.
George, how was the crowd after the first Cottrell goal?
When Cottrell was running into goal, 10,000 people stood up before he kicked it. As he was running into goal, everyone was off their seat and just cheering him on. Like he was running the straight at the Melbourne Cup, like right at the end. Like everyone was literally just jumping, going wild. The noise was insane. He lapped it up, great celebrating, and that was only eclipsed by Harry's goal. And we talk about, the murmurs and the noise when Harry marks the ball going for goal. It was there at the Gabba. You had Brisbane fans sort of booming, whistling, whatnot. You had Carlton fans all stressing, basically. So when he put it through, it erupted. It absolutely erupted. And then I think it was Doc and Charlie. And as Andy said, as we're putting on goals, we're looking around in incredulation. Like we're looking around like, what is happening? And you could see people dreaming of Saturday, of next Saturday. Like I was daring to dream. I was sitting there in shock. Andy, to his credit, stayed calm. He's like, Brisbane will come, and I like there were people out of their seats. It was just, it was delirium. It was I can't even explain it. That first quarter for me, it reminds me of 2018 round one, Carlton versus Richmond. I hate this game so much, but remember we kicked the first 5 goals. Charlie put on a clinic. Charlie was obviously in his his third year. And he kicked like the 2 or 3, and we kicked the first 5 goals, and that was the peak point of the season, and then the rest of the season just went to crap. Richmond came back and whatnot. But it felt like that when we were watching, like what's happening? What are we watching? And to Andy's point, we had Brisbane shook, like they didn't want it. The crowd, it felt like a Carlton home game, although we had 14,000, 15,000. The numbers, the ferocity, the pressure, that first quarter was what I went to bed with, sleeping, just thinking about that first quarter and the what if, and that one hurts because we saw what we're not just capable of in our best, but sustaining that. In a month where we haven't really been our best, we haven't played our best, we haven't seen Carlton's best. So that first quarter was like a glimpse of what we've been doing through parts of the season as well, where we're tearing the game apart. So yeah, what a quarter.
Yeah,
what a quarter.
It was a similar situation when Cottrell kicked that goal, Carl, at Icon Park. Everyone stood up. Everyone, and it was utter mayhem after that first goal. It got louder after the second, got even louder after the third, and then the fourth, and then the fifth, and you were daring to dream. I was dreaming. Straight out, I'll tell you, 5 goals in, premature elation, call it. But I bet you I wasn't alone. You kick 5 goals away from home. And, man, Carl, do you think we should have been a little more ahead considering the domination that we had in the first quarter?
I think I said it to you during the game. We went to pre-round 13 where we just started bombing the ball and just bombing it and bombing it. I think we should have been up, honestly, by more, but I guess it is what it is. We can only look back and say if I don't know if it got to the players' heads. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. It's hard
I don't think it got to the players' heads. I think Brisbane just turned up. And
yeah, definitely Brisbane turned up,
Yeah.
but I also reckon it might have played to their heads like, wow, we could be going to a granny. Because they look like they just went to shit after that.
I think Collingwood fans were thinking
fans
about
were
it.
happy.
Collingwood fans were. I had Collingwood fans message me saying, "Wow, we're going to see you guys on Saturday."
Yeah, they're fucking cursed us.
So yeah,
They were not only happy for us to lose because they had us. They were happy because they didn't want to face us. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that doesn't matter, and that's where my frustration comes in. Everyone's saying like, oh man, no, don't get me started. I'm like I said, the longer that goes on, the less I care about opinions now. Like, I don't care about opinions now. Fact is, there were players that didn't turn up all fucking final series, and play as good as you want during the year. But I said during the preview video that reputations are built in finals, and there are so many players who they've lost all credibility. You can't tell me that this person's a great player now because that player did fuck all for 3 games. And you know who I'm talking about. We're talking about Charlie Kerner. And we all love Charlie. We all love what he does. He loves to put on a show. And my frustration is that where were you when the team needed you? You were burning other players for glory when, mate, you're 50 out on the boundary, mate. You got a short option, take the short option. Like he was constantly going for glory, and that's a winner's mentality. I get it, but we weren't in a position to take that risk, and he just body language changed, and I'll just turn this really negative. I'm so frustrated. I'm just so frustrated.
No, it's important. It's important to review the game in isolation because straight out, that was a piss poor game. Put aside from the first quarter where we absolutely dominated and had Brisbane on the ropes, it was a shit game. To what Carl said, we went back to that same pathetic game style that we had in the first half of the season. Get the ball, bomb it. Expect one of TDK or Pitnate or Mackay or Kerner to mark it, down the line, and then we'll gain some territory and then go again. Very, very rarely did you see a handball chain. Very rarely did you see us against Brisbane try and take it down the middle.
We should have been up by 10 goals in that first quarter.
Yeah,
Is that what it looked like? Like
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. The
It looked like pure
deliveries,
domination.
the deliveries into our forward 50 was shit.
They literally just get it and bomb. Go along.
But
what it
that's
looked like.
the point as well in terms of the deliveries inside 50, and I think that's where I don't blame Curnow as much. Obviously, there was a few things where he done that, the going and blazing away. When it comes off, it's fantastic. It looks amazing and whatnot. He blazed away a couple of times and it didn't come off, unfortunately. Is that all the deliveries, all final series have been on top of his head.
Yeah.
There was one, and it was by mistake pretty much, where against Melbourne, his only goal, where it went up and he sort of ran onto it.
Yeah.
But the only balls that come to him front on the lead are when he's on the wing or over up past 50. Like all final series, the delivery to Charlie's been everything's on his head, and you've got to rely on talent marking someone holding him or whatnot. So the delivery there was I found lacking. And that's the biggest flaw for me this final series is how we've looked inside 50. Tackle pressure, yes, great. Tackle pressure and keeping it and stuff has been fantastic. Guys like your Fogarty and Jack Martin and Motlop and whatnot. But how do we bring Charlie into the game more September versus the home and away season as well? Like Andy said, what you do in home and away season, and I was talking to Andy, as we're waiting for our flight, just like the Port Adelaide story, right? They were talking about it on SEN last week. Port Adelaide, that win streak they had where it was 13 in a row, whatever, and we ended it, that means nothing now. Like that win streak, no matter what you did during the home, it's irrelevant. Whatever you done during the home and away season. So they were discussing it, saying, should Ken Hinkley should he have been extended back in August? Should it have happened in September? Because they went out in straight sets. So what you do during the home and away season, it's when you get to September and what you do there, as Andy mentioned, your reputations are made there. So it feels like all the home and away season now is irrelevant once you get here. So I feel like that was our biggest flaw, how we've looked inside 50. Yeah.
It's a very heavy reliance on like you said, George, right? Curnow, Mackay, and even Jack Martin. Jack Martin seemed a bit greedy last night as well. There was a few contests where both like Curnow and Martin were going up, Mackay and Martin were going up, and they were spoiling each other. But it gives any team's defenders, not just Brisbane's defense, but any team's defenders, more than enough time to set themselves up for the best possible defense of that ball coming in. And then more times than not, they're not going to mark it. They're just going to get a fist to it. A fist is always going to beat a mark.
Yeah, but they started to read it. They knew we were going to continue to do that. And our smalls, instead of getting front and square, were going up as well.
Jesse Motlop.
So they were, Jesse Motlop was going up with Martin and Mackay and at times Curnow, and then they were just reading it. They were just peeling off and getting the easy ball, and out they went. So it's a definition of insanity. We've gone back. We just went back to doing the same thing, expecting different results. So
yeah, look. Sorry, Moose. On your point about Smalls and our forward line, something we really need to work on during the preseason is a proper forward structure. We
set
can't
plays.
Set
plays.
Amen.
We can't just keep going long. It's not good. Teams like Brisbane will expose it. They'll just smash us and rebound and transition, and they will just murder us on the return. So that's one thing that they really, really need to rely on. Man, honestly, there's probably about five players that can walk off that ground last night and say they had a good game.
I agree with
Everybody else was well under par. So again, reputations, man.
We didn't give ourselves the chance to get first hands on it. And Andy mentioned this as well. You said we are center clearance or bust. And in that first quarter, everyone looked incredible and switched on and amazing. And because after the second quarter, they'd started dominating us in the clearances. We're not giving ourselves that chance. And like the few players that come to mind, like Walsh, Boyd was very good. For a bloke who hasn't played senior footy in over 2 months, he did very well. I was wrapped with his inclusion. Ollie Hollins is going to be a player, man. Ollie Hollins is his ball use,
Yeah.
his toughness, for his age, for his stature. Wait till he gets a few preseasons in and add some strength. We got a special kid there as well.
I think we're well coached.
Food for thought, just quickly. We touched on 13 elimination games in a row. Had we played our grand final last week against Melbourne, where we spent, I sort of felt that way towards in the start of the second quarter for me. Brisbane had that break. They said, okay, you've brought your fans. Let's see what you've got. We went on a bit of a run. We kicked the 5 goals and then that was it. And then they kicked up into second gear and off they went. And you saw it, they were getting centre clearances. They had the legs. We were labouring the rest of the game. From the second quarter onwards, we were labouring everyone at every contest. So
We were out coached from the second. They made some major adjustments.
What was the biggest adjustment?
Yeah.
The way Coleman read the ball and slapped us.
Yeah, but was that a coaching thing?
I
or
reckon it was because it wasn't there in the first quarter.
But what did he change? What was the move?
They just pushed up. They pushed up in the middle. We couldn't get past.
They just went into second gear. That's all they did.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's coaching then. Because I thought Voss coached okay. It was execution and I thought it was more execution. Man, we just kept turning it over. Making bad decisions, handballing to players under pressure. Credit to Brisbane. They are an elite pressure outfit. And maybe you're right, Carl. Maybe we played our grand final the week before and we were actually spent. Or was that more? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's how I felt. And in the game, that's what it sort of looked like. But
yeah, maybe you're right. But I think it's important. Look, we all are going to reflect on the season, and it's been a success for us, right? But at the same time, we're not in it to make prelims. Nobody forgets the prelim contenders from 12 years ago. You know what I mean? Unless it was your team. So I want to win premierships. And this team now has showed us we can get to the pointy end of the year. All right. So from my perspective, it's very disappointing. But it's your first finals. Let's just breathe, and we'll go with a learning experience. It's a massive learning curve, massive learning experience for many players. And I hope it lights a fire. And it shows, I think George said before, it shows the importance of finishing top 4. When we were making finals like that 2010 era, like at 11, 12, whatever, we kept finishing 5th or 6th. You know what I mean? And we'd lose. We might win a final and then lose the second week. So it's very important. Making top 4 is the goal next year. Top 2 should be the goal.
Statistically, you don't get there unless you're top 2. Statistically speaking,
yeah. But if we had a week off, you know what I mean? So yeah, credit to the boys. They've turned it around. It's been a great season. All that cute stuff. But we're in the business of premierships. That's what we play for. We're not playing, to finish 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
So I hope it lights a fire under them. And man, there's I'm not going out on a limb by saying I'm sure there are a lot of bruised egos in our team. I'm sure there are a lot of proud guys who aren't feeling too proud at the moment. So I think accountability for a lot of the boys is important, and I hope it doesn't work in a negative way. And I hope we come out next year even hungrier, smarter, and we don't have a dip. We don't. Man, I just want to win. I want to win a premiership. Like, I don't like losing. I hated it when we were losing to GWS 10 years ago or 5 years ago when they had 17 players or 16 players on the ground. And I hated losing to Brisbane in a prelim, listening to fucking Country Roads.
What was that? Could someone tell me what's going on at the Gabba?
So apparently
player hype songs.
Yeah.
It is. Look, credit to Brisbane, and I said this, they make it feel like an away game, right? They make you feel, even the entertainment, like the bloke talking, does not acknowledge the fact that there's another team there. right? You are an outsider coming in. So credit to the Brisbane, like whoever runs it. But fuck, it's annoying. Hearing songs after a goal, and they're the lowest songs, bro.
Loud too.
They are the shit. They are garbage songs. Garbage. I don't care who I offend by that. They are garbage songs.
Who was the one that's got Frozen playing? Was that Danaher?
Danaher,
Of course he would.
It was. It's
Look, and yeah, credit. They made us uncomfortable. It is an uncomfortable experience having to listen to those songs after a goal because it doesn't give you time to digest the goal. It really doesn't. So it's not like, bang, cheer, and then that
reset.
That reset. Nah, bro. Because the song plays and it plays and it plays until the umpire bounces the ball. And if they really like you, they keep singing.
Well,
so
the crowd keeps singing the song while the play's happening. And if you actually look up at the scoreboard, and it's a really, really big scoreboard, they've got this awkward dance that the player's actually doing as well. So you've got some hokey pokey sort of dance that the player's doing to the song that they've picked.
The Nutcracker.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's really weird.
It genuinely feels like an away game. And like I said, absolute credit to the Brisbane Lions because they are a powerful outfit and clearly on and off the field because that takes a lot of smarts to do something like that.
Andy, you mentioned sustainable footy, and I think there needs to be some changes to the way that we play, more specifically in the way that we go forward. I'll pose this question to everyone. What changes would you guys like to see in the way that we play?
I don't know if that's a safe question to ask tonight, mate.
Jack Silvani.
Jack Silvani?
But it's on Jack, though, for who? In that forward
I just
line.
think he's a big piece in that puzzle. I don't know what structure changes. I don't know what set plays change. I don't know what delivery mechanism going forward is, but Jack Silvani is a pivotal piece in that. That's all I'm going to say.
I think we need to make some tough calls this preseason where we've got too much of a reliance on players who aren't consistent enough.
Peter. Send him to Essendon.
Mate, you can name honestly 3 or 4, but I'm talking about Big H. We love him. Look, he had a decent game.
He
done his part. He done his part yesterday. He done his part.
But I'll give him that. All right, he did his part. I don't think 2 goals is nearly enough, but whatever. We'll give it to him. All right. I just think there's an issue there. There is just an issue there between himself and the rest of the forward line. There's just something's not clicking, and I don't know what it is. But the free-flowing movement going forward when he's not there is missing when he's there. But then when he's there, when he's not there, we're like, fuck, we need a big player.
Yeah.
Well, we need a big player. So is Harry that big player? We've committed to him, right? We've committed to him. I feel bad because he did have an okay game. Like, he did all right.
Did he, though? I mean, I was saying he kicked 2 goals, but that's all he did. A couple of marks.
He took a few important marks.
Yeah, but
if you're comparing him to Charlie, though, if you're comparing him to Charlie yesterday,
let's not even
isolation.
Yeah.
Let's not even go Charlie. But Harry Mackay, you kick 2 goals, you take a couple of marks up the ground that you're supposed to do anyway. Compare him to 4 of the other Brisbane players who did the exact same thing, but there was 4 of them. So was he great? No, but did he do better than he has because we got to tiptoe around him? Yeah, okay, he had a good game.
Exactly right. We're walking on eggshells around this topic. That we need to either wholly invest into this man and go all in, right? And structure a game plan that works consistently, not just on the odd occasion, and not just against, bottom sides. It needs to work against good sides. And look, it stands out more when Charlie doesn't have a good game. right? And you know, people turn around and they say, Charlie, you know, it's free kicks or nothing, free kicks or nothing. Well, mate, they didn't pay free kicks and he didn't really get a touch. So are these people right? Again, like, I'm just being devil's advocate for this one because 3 games, 3 goals.
Mm.
He wrapped up his Coleman, and I think he scored 4 goals since wrapping up his Coleman. I think he scored 4 goals since. 1 in that game, and then 1 in each game.
Do you reckon it
That's-
was pressure, or he just turned to shit?
I don't think he turned to shit. I think it's just pressure, man. Pressure and lack of structure going forward.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
it's-
right.
that's what it is.
Look at the contest. Look at every time he's going up for the ball. It was right in front of us, guys, as well in the first and the third quarter. We went that when our end. He's going up every single contest against Harris Andrews, Darcy Gardner, Motlop's going up, Jack Martin's going up, and there's about 7 or 8 of them, and he's going to have to pluck it. How's he going to pluck that, right? And every single contest it's going on his head. So the delivery, I think, was subpar all final series, and you just saw it. It was just bomb along. He
Yeah.
constantly this final series got caught behind the defender, where he wasn't reading it well or whatnot. And they bombed it either too short, intercepted. You saw it with McCartan. We saw it with Harris Andrews. We saw it with Lever last week. Or he's going up against 4 or 5 blokes. So when is I don't remember the last. It wasn't this month anyway. The last time someone hit Charlie Lacey out.
No, it
It
hasn't
just
happened.
hasn't happened.
Hasn't happened.
A lot
Our
of the
di-
time, sorry, Mal, just quickly. A lot of the
Yeah.
times, I spent some time watching Charlie. A lot of the times, he was doubling back. He wasn't actually starting in a square or starting in a position deep and leading up the ground. So, as a midfielder, you're not going to be able to hit him lace out if he's half forward doubling back. How's that going to work?
So,
So there's something around the structure and the way they were actually,
Exactly.
going forward. There's
I'll
something
pose a
wrong.
question. I'll pose a question to you then. If you invest in Harry all in, you're keeping him, right? For example, because there'll be teams asking the question this trade season, guaranteed. Melbourne need a key forward. Essendon will be sniffing. There'll be teams asking the question. Let's just say, we go back in next year, Charlie Harry, who stays in the square? Who stays in the square and who goes out and roams the 50?
It
Jack
depends
roams
on
the 50.
It depends. It depends on what the midfield is doing and the way we're playing the ball and the play moving forward from the midfield. I don't know.
Did
I don't
you
know
say
the
Jack,
answer.
Andy?
Yeah, Jack Silvani.
Yeah.
Jack Silvani takes Harry's spot.
Oh,
If that's the case, I would put Jack in because Jack can play up the ground. He's shown time and time again he's clutch with those marks down the line.
Yes.
So all right, he can mark up the ground. Pretty good set shot on goal. What can Harry? The only thing Harry's got on him is pace.
Defender.
Height.
Put him in the back line. Said it once.
Possibly, yeah. And
I know.
but all right, that means we're paying Zach Williams $850 or whatever it is. We're paying Harry Mackay $900. We're paying Wiedering whatever he's on. That's a lot of money to spend on a midfield on a defense that, like, bro, he's
And you're throwing out another key defender as well, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to drop Kemp.
Like, who
You
do
don't
you-
want to sort of
I
McGovern's
don't know.
throwing out.
I don't
Boyd
know
is
how you're
promising.
contemplating that. The guy doesn't like contests. I've seen it work with some players who are struggling up forward and you put them back and they develop form or they become a good defender and then they go back or whatnot. But this guy doesn't like contested ball. How are you going to put him in the back line? What's he going to do?
He probably doesn't like the pressure of having a shot at goal because he's always
Yeah.
missing. Maybe he needs that in the back line. He doesn't have to have the shot at goal.
Well,
It's
if
worth
that's
trying.
the case, Harry needs to be fully open and honest, and
I'm
say,
scared.
"I need help. I need help." There's nothing wrong with admitting you need help. So, for the benefit and for the betterment of the team, you do the team thing. You put your hand up and say, "I need help." Send me a therapist. Send me to a therapist. Send me a kicking coach. Give me something.
Yeah.
Right? And the club must go all in. Look, if we don't get rid of him, which I don't think we will, I think we'll keep him because that position is very important to our current game style. So
I don't
we
think they
have
should give him an option.
no, exactly. That's what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
That's exactly what I was about to say. The club, if we decide to go ahead with what we're doing now and the structure we've got now, then we have to go all in. It's not a matter of would you like. It's a matter of you must. This is we're not playing for 10th, 12th spot anymore. Like, this is it. Next year, the expectations go through the roof. The expectation next year, I'm sure for most people, is we are playing in a grand final.
Work it out.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we want now. And this is a very how do I put it? We're a very starved fan base. So we want to see results. We demand results. So this year we'll admit, all right, we did well. It was a great story. Great story. Shouldn't have been there in the first place, but great story to turn around. Well done, boys. Pat on the back. Well done. We respect it. We're so proud of you. 100%. We love what you did. But we're not in the business of making fucking prelims. We're in the business of winning grand finals. That's what we want. That is the goal. So the team must do whatever it takes to reach that goal, because the windows are very short. The windows aren't that big. So we need to jump on it. Cripper's getting up there. You know what I mean? Is Doc's getting up there. All these players that we're so reliant on are getting up there.
Yep.
So, yeah. Again, proud but frustrated.
Yeah.
Anything less than a granny next year will be a failure.
100%.
I think, and on reflection, like, yes, you look where we are, look where we ended up, 15th or prelim, as you said, amazing, and in the final four, contending for a spot in the granny. But and people laughed. And I'm pretty sure there was a video from one of our old reviews. People laughed when we said we were contenders from a team that was supposed to be contending. We said that. I think it was the Essendon review. So we regained some respect. I feel like the team and Carlton FC actually regained some respect, and this particular team gave us something that we haven't had in a while, which is actual hope. Like, you have hope, right? You have the hoping the season goes well and we might get a win here, but this was different. Like, we're dreaming of September 30, right? Last Saturday in September. So, and I still am of the opinion that our absolute best is unbeatable, which is what we saw that first quarter. We were all over them. Our best is unbeatable. Our biggest enemy is ourselves. And we unfortunately didn't see our best all month bar that first quarter in bits and pieces. I think by the end we battled. We were too banged up and bruised by the end of it. But to win yesterday, and as Andy mentioned, we sold ourselves. We tried to handball our way out of trouble a lot, and by doing so, we sold each player that was getting the handball, we sold them into trouble. Brisbane's pressure obviously played a big part in that as well. A bit of sloppiness. A lot of sloppiness going forward, where we're just bombing it long on top of Charlie and Harry's head. But the handballing out of defence, constantly. And Andy mentioned this, I think, over pancakes this morning. There's only 3 teams that have the skill, the ability, the agility to do that and execute it perfectly, which is, I think you mentioned Collingwood, Brisbane, and GWS. Are the teams that can chain it out of defence so well, and that's where, to your point earlier, we are reliant on that kick down the line and that mark. But then when you wheel and go, you see that Harry's men will drop back to impact the Charlie contest, and then all of a sudden that kick is going up and Charlie's on a 2-on-1 or a 2-on-2, and it's going on his head. And to the forward line, I personally think, and I'd love to see, because Brian Cook said this list is not complete, so I'm very interested to see what's going to happen this off season. But I would love a small or medium-sized forward. So, for example, Swan's got Papley, who plays a little bit bigger than he is, his stature. Lincoln McCarthy for Brisbane does a fantastic role. That sort of player that's a mid-sized forward that can play small, go up and take a mark. Like your Jack Martin, but I'd like to see another. Look at Brisbane's forwards. You got Lincoln McCarthy, you got Cam Rayner. You got these guys that can break the Zach Bailey. So that mid-sized forward. So for example, Cunningham was out of the side and whatnot. But someone that can impact, like your Jack Martin, who can do it. You can get 10 or 11 touches, 2-3 goals. But I think we need another one.
It's supposed to be always, George.
Yeah. But he can't really take contested mark, really.
They can.
Not really.
So that means if we do look for that, Wiz is out of the side.
He's
That's
too
a
short.
non-negotiable.
He's too short.
What about
think-
Silvani?
Silvani's good size. Not bad. Good size.
I'm just like there's a lot to look forward to in the preseason to see. Like it's going to be a big preseason. It's going to be a good trade period. Be interesting to see what we do because there are still a few holes in our team. I'm not ready to reflect. You know,
It'll be
I'm
good 'cause
really,
there'll be a lot of players that'll have a full preseason, like your Marchbanks and your Jack Martins could benefit them, I guess.
yeah,
To be honest, I don't think we've figured out what our top midfield
Best.
is either.
yeah.
We've played around so much with the midfield as well. Our forward line we've played around. The only solid line in
Defense.
is our defense. Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
That's the only one we haven't mucked around with too much. The only time we have shifted the magnets around is when there was injury. And it wasn't like shift the whole line around and then bring someone in. It was never the case. But with our midfield, like we saw Kennedy and George Hewitt go out of the midfield regularly throughout the season. And even in the for the final series, our forward line has been makeshift for as long as I can remember. And even with the likes of Harry Mackay and Charlie Curnow in there, we still can't bloody figure it out. So
That's why this preseason is so important
100%.
for just working out a sustainable system going forward. It's so important because good teams are always going to just kill you.
Yeah.
Who would be who would be your three midfielders if you were to pick and say, yep, that's our three main guys?
Cripps,
Who would you
Walsh,
put?
Cripps, Walsh and Chera. Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Paddy Dow.
Don't say that.
I think as on the lessons learned as well. Like there's so much to take from this year. I feel optimistic because we took a lot of lessons. I feel from round 23 and 2022 in general. We took a lot of lessons there. It took a while for it to come through in 2023, but I feel like this. You know, judging from the language from Cripps, from Voss as well, it's let it hurt you. Let it hurt you, yes. But then how are you going to better yourself from that? Reflect on it. What changes can we make? And it all, I think, stems to what Andy said. You know, don't give yourself a chance for having to travel or whatnot. Finish top 4, if top 2, because you look at the home ground advantage. Statistically speaking, your top 2 teams are always going to make it to the grand final. 3rd and 4th, slightly lesser percentage, and then outside the top 8, it's an anomaly. Like you got Doggies in 2016, and before that, I think we said it was Adelaide in the late 90s or whatnot. But it's hopefully they take the lessons, and then as Andy said as well, like you've got to implement something I think sustainable, and Marla says as well, like cleaning up the delivery into forward 50, and I think we have times where we when we're exploding out of the center, and it's a lot of it's just chaos balls, and because of our pressure inside 50, we end up just getting a goal out of nothing, or through holding the ball or
Through scraps,
mark inside 50 or scraps, but lace outs and sustainable footy rather than relying on talent. We're relying on the talent of Jack Martin, the talent of Harry, of Charlie, and stuff like that to get us over these games. I feel like there is a couple of additions to make, but I've loved the growth of so many players this year, ability wise and leadership wise. Like ability wise, at the start of the year, Kemp was hardly getting a look in. He was in and out of the VFL. You see him cement the spot. Boyd is turning into an absolute gem of a pickup from the Doggies. I think they delisted him, or we got him as a rookie or whatnot. But Boyd, he's flying. Chincotta, Blake Acres, you got these players who have unbelievable ability. But now, how good was it seeing the leadership come out now? When a few weeks ago we were saying there's hardly any leaders in this squad, and you've got Adam Sard giving the guys a rev up. Was that 3/4 time or after the game? After the game.
Yeah.
I love Adam Sard. I didn't really think he had the leadership qualities in him, because I've never really seen it. I've never really seen him pointing fingers, voicing and whatnot. Absolute great player and stuff like that, but I've never seen him directing traffic, because it's always back there. It's Wiedering or Doherty, right, doing that. So how good was that, and how special was that seeing things like that? I don't know. It's
just on Boyd, bro. I never want to see him in the VFL again.
It's like a Kemp situation.
Yeah, man. He was amazing.
He was. That was a great call.
Yeah.
No, issues with Kemp. Kemp has been very, very serviceable, but Boyd did a great job.
Agreed.
Yep.
Gives us the run that Saad was giving us when he first came across, right? He would take the ball, handball chains, and run off and still help out. And he's such a beautiful kick. He's probably one of the few in our team that actually lowers his eyes and sends that.
He's a tough player too.
Yeah, for me it was the lock. For me it was the lock that he provided. Yeah, his ball running carry was fantastic, and his presence was great, and the way he moves the ball. But his lock was, mate, he was sticking tackles on the Danahers and Hipwoods.
Yeah, he's not scared.
So
let me throw another headache at you. I fully agree, Morse, that his tackling, his ferocity, and his composure under pressure was fantastic. Let me throw another headache at you. Zach Williams.
Who's that?
Andrew loves him.
Seriously.
Best 22. Best 22.
We need to do one again.
But and we'll talk about this.
Wait. What'd you say? Amal, what'd you say?
Me?
Best 22. Work it out.
Zach Williams, best 22 of what?
I'm not saying he is in the best 22.
Oh,
I'm saying it needs who we put on the field has to be our best 22. No. Don't get me wrong. I personally at the moment, I rate look, we haven't seen
Chincotta's going to be the one that's going to be stiff and miss out. Let's be real.
100%.
It depends
it's
who
going to
we
be the
play.
case. But how good has Chincotta been this year?
Amazing.
How good has he been?
Have we as a club put ourselves in a hole with the amount of we're paying players? We're paying these players, and you're forced to play them. You're forced to play Harry. You're forced to play Zach Williams because of the amount they're on, right? So again, I don't want to throw spanner in the works and problems, but I'm just saying that because of the Boyd topic, right? He comes in, you know what he's going to do. He came in obviously to do a job on Charlie Cameron and a couple of small Brisbane forwards. Done well. Obviously Kemp will come back in. You got Chincotta there. You got Adam Saad there. You're not going to drop Saad. You're not going to drop Doherty. It's going to be Chincotta, but if he's playing well, so this is the thing. So I feel like this off season is going to be very important because you've got a list. It's just fine tuning now.
I think that changes game to game, though. I think these, we're not going to have a best back six. We're going to have a best back nine, and it depends on who we're playing week in, week out. I mean, I understand that we need to find some structure,
of course,
and that comes with Wiedering, and that comes with your Dohertys, but the likes of the other ones around, like your Kemps and your Chincottas and your Boyds, and even your Zach Williams, it depends on who we're playing. They need to be role players within that actual system that we've got.
We've got
real depth.
Yeah. Zach Williams won't be dropped, bro. They're not going to play a player's getting paid $4 and another player's playing $800,000.
Well, you need to though. No, you need to make that decision. You have to.
They won't. They're not going to leave Zach Williams in the VFL. Let's be real. They won't.
Yeah, well, you can't play Zach Williams over a Kemp if we've got three tools that we need to man up. It doesn't make sense.
One of my biggest fears, right, is something that a lot of clubs go through. They've got a lot of good players on their list, and those good players end up as depth players, right? They can't get a game. So these depth players, these good depth players, end up going to another club and doing well.
Yeah.
Now, the thing with those clubs is that they generally win premierships. We're having this issue and we've won nothing. We've won nothing.
Yeah.
What have we won? It's all good and well to be proud of effort and the turnaround. But I'm not in the mood for reflection right now. I'm in the mood to just call out what it is right now. And what it is right now is we have a whole list of very similar players, right? We've got 3 or 4 groups of very similar players. We're going to lose depth. Eventually, these players are going to want to play consistently. And if Carl's right and we play Zach Williams based on price tag instead of merit, then selection integrity has gone out the window. And we'll just start to lose players. We'll start to lose good players. And I don't want that. So we need to be very vigilant as a football club to play the right player based on the right merit.
Yep.
So I think that's another key thing the club needs to focus on. Like, it's all good and well to make, like, I'm very frustrated that we lost the prelim. I'm not happy that, we lost the prelim.
No.
I'm not burning. Like, it's not like I'm not angry about it. It's just it hurts to lose a prelim. So
We're not angry. We're disappointed.
We were almost there. That's what it is.
And we know how hard it is to get here, to get to this point. Look at the season we've had. Look at what we've had to go through to get.
How many grey hairs I've got? Look at the greys.
Every team that makes it that far has to go through hurdles, right? Teams go through hurdles and get nowhere. So it's going to be another huge effort next year. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. I think even as a fan base, I think we've changed a lot. We've matured a lot as a fan base during this year, not just the players. So I think our kind of emotions should be leveled next year. No matter what comes at us, the goal is at the end to win a premiership, right? So if things go bad or if things start to dip, we just need to stay on this line. Trust the system. So yeah,
we'll move on to votes, and I'm sure there's plenty more to chat about. We've still got a whole season review to go through, and we'll leave that for another time. But for now, let's go through the votes for the preliminary final against the Brisbane Lions. Mus, I'll kick it off with you.
One vote to McGovern. I think he did a job. I think he was under immense pressure, and he's probably built, considering where he was, for me at least. I wasn't his biggest fan. I thought there was no space for him in that team, but he did a job. He was good. 2 votes to Walsh. I think if Walsh didn't play or Walsh wasn't in the side, we would have probably got done by 10 to 12 goals. He was doing it all. I think he was not supported by some of the other mids. We ran with, Kennedy was a sub, but we had our best midfield that we've got at the Carlton Football Club. Obviously, they don't rate Paddy Dow, so bar him, that was our best midfield we've got. So, and he was probably the only one that stood out for me. And 3 votes to Boyd. He hasn't played. He came in, he walked straight back into that team, and it worked.
He had impact. He definitely had impact.
Fantastic to see. And I'd hate to see Zach Williams walk into that side and Boyd not get a game and then go to another football club and play in a premiership. So, Carl?
Andy said earlier, you probably 5 players or so that you could probably pick that had a decent game. I honestly don't even know who I'm going to give my 1 to. I'm going to leave that for now, but my 2 votes, Boyd, for all the reasons that we said before he came in, he did a job, and Sam Walsh for doing what he does, pretty much. 1 vote, I honestly don't know who to give my 1 vote to, man. You could probably split it between probably Doherty and Mitch McGovern. But yeah, overall, big disappointed, boys. Georgie?
I'm going to give my 1 to Marchbank. I felt like he done some good things. Couple of costly sort of decisions and turnovers or whatnot, but for most of it, I felt like he was actually pretty good. On a night where only, again, a few people can hold their head up high, and it wasn't. There's no sort of individual lacking performances or whatnot. It was more of a collective, right? But yeah, so Marchie gets the 1. I feel like he's actually had good moments in September, Again, he can sometimes you're watching him and he looks really slow, but he still gets to the contest.
He's got ping issues.
So credit to Marchi. 2 for Boyd. As I said, he hasn't played a senior game in over 2 months. It was the Port Adelaide game he was suspended from
3
memory.
matches.
Yeah, the Port game. So that was a while. That was a while ago. I don't think we were in the top 8 at the time. So yeah, he was 2 votes to him. His composure, his toughness, and it was just great to see him back in the squad. 3 to Sam Walsh. He had a fantastic September. What more can you ask for, man? This guy turned it on. He didn't have a preseason. He had issues with injuries during the year as well. Like, Kane Corn said it. This bloke had a bit of the disc in his back cut out earlier this year, and he's putting up insane numbers. So credit to Sam Walsh, man. Like, I really hope he can just stay clean, healthy over the off season, have a full preseason, and really, really tear it up. And he threatened to win the Brownlow a couple of years ago. So this guy's, great to see that September didn't phase him, and you can rely on him to shoulder the load. So yeah, Sammy, 3 votes. Andy,
Mine are very similar to yours, George, except I'll give Boyd 1. All the reasons above. Marchbank 2, because I thought he was just too tall, all over the ground, took marks, intercepts, all that. And Sam Walsh is built for finals. That's certified now. Probably the only player on our list. Akers as well. But Sam Walsh in finals is next level. And that's it for me, man. Amal?
My 1 vote goes to Jordan, to Boyd. Again, just to slot into the side after not playing in it, and then to come in a preliminary final and do that, have impact was very, very impressive. He only just missed out on the 2 votes to Mitchell McGovern, who had 24, going at 83% efficiency and 661 meters gained. He had a ripper game. And then the 3 votes goes to Mr. September, Sam Walsh. It's even more impressive, and I was just thinking about it. George, you mentioned, right? He missed out on preseason, came back, took him a few games to sort of get up to scratch, and then copped an injury again, missed a few weeks, and then only came back against GWS and really had to turn it on after that. Could Carlton have made it where they made it without Sam Walsh over the last couple of weeks? I don't think so. Don't think so. He's been incredibly impressive. Overall, how do I feel about the preliminary final and how it went? Shithouse. It's a very flat ending to what has been an incredible season that has unlocked core memories, I think, for a lot of us. The deep lows coming into round 11, round 12, following on from the Essendon review to the newfound heights of happiness and elation and joy that the club gave us in the 11 win streak or whatever it was, coming into the finals to beat Sydney and Melbourne in front of packed MCGs was brilliant. But this is a sour ending considering how the first quarter went. And after this conversation, I think, whilst if you look back at it as a whole, you think, yeah, great, it's been a really, really good season. This conversation has made me realize that there's still holes all around the ground, bar our defense, I think, and there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, which is good and bad, I think. Good in the sense that we've still got so much upside, and look at what we've been able to achieve with probably an average sort of game plan. Imagine what we can do when we clean that up, or imagine what we can do if we can get the right people into the club. Imagine if we let Harry Mackay go. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen this trade period, right? But let's see.
Just real quick, Amal. Probably on behalf of George and Andy as well. Quick shout out to the Carlton enthusiasts who made the trip. Got around us at the play-in. It was fantastic, actually. You know, there was isolated conversations and group conversations and familiar faces. So, really loved it, to be honest. It was fantastic. You know, a lot of positive things and the vibe, and it was like a cult. And we're all part of it. It was really, really special to see that and feel that.
Was there a secret handshake?
No, but what there was there was one gentleman, we'll call him a gentleman, towards on the way out, actually, felt the need to jump right in front of me and give me a woof. So that was quite interesting. But
there's some characters up north.
Might have been the
Some
beard.
characters who might not have who might not have seen people of the Middle Eastern variety in the past.
Not in Brisbane. It was an interesting couple of days there, definitely. But no, shout out to like what was said. We actually definitely felt the Carlton love, I think, as a group, supporter base at the plough-in and at the game and whatnot. And yeah, big shout out to everyone who came around. We had youngsters sort of coming up and saying that they love listening in. We had a couple of elderly
Veterans,
blokes and ladies
veterans
that came in and said they loved tuning in. It was great to meet some familiar faces, meet some new faces as well. So big shout out to everyone who got around us. That was really nice. And
Can I give a shout out? Can I give a shout out?
Absolutely.
Shout out to all the dogs who decided all of a sudden to give me a call. Blokes I haven't heard from in months. It's been awfully quiet for the last few months. Just good luck. Oh, bad luck. Oh, sorry, man. Oh, well done, pretenders. Oh, from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my deep black heart, go fuck yourself. I promise. I mean that with all my heart. So
and shout out. We've got a lot of opposition fans that love tuning in as well, right? Because they tune in for these moments for when we've lost, and there'll be a lot tuning in this week. Shout out. Thanks for listening. All right. I think that one of the
all ugly. When you click on them, bro, they're always ugly. It's always the ugly ones.
Someone commented
ones, which automatically ugly.
Yeah.
And it's they just look. They look like they have been bred through incest. All of them.
Inbred.
All right. On that note, I'm going to quickly go back to my
Allegedly.
You know what? Let them click and let them keep the views coming. We love it.
My favorite comment came from a Pie fan, and he said, "What did he say?" He said, "Thanks, guys. Can't wait to tune into you flogs next year," or something like that. Hey, I love it. We've copped a lot worse, right? And I think one day we'll read out a few comments, right? But thank you for tuning in. It's been a laugh, and keep the banter coming.
Yeah, the banter's awesome. We do love
the banter's great. We do enjoy it. So
still go fuck yourself.
Can't wait.
In the mouth.
I'm struggling to make sense of that. Can't wait to tune into you next year, flog. It's like, do you like us or not? I'm confused, man.
We'll take it.
Oh, all right. Until the review, the full season review. The full season review.
I don't think Amal knows we're not in the granny.
Tell you who is in the granny. Good old Brisbane Lions forever.
Hey,
please fucking win
Lions.
on Saturday.
Hey, they have to win. They have to win.
See the Lions fly up.
They must win. Brisbane must win.
Absolutely.
We can't have the filth winning. We just can't. And I will call them all back. Just letting them know.
I think there's going to be a few nervous Pies fans because let's be honest, you haven't really played. You didn't play that well against GWS. I reckon Brisbane might give you a run for your money.
Umpires played well for him though.
Yeah, in that fourth quarter as well.
Hey, Nick Dacos, get off.
Yeah.
That's rubbish. Players have gone for less.
AFL got a fine for even thinking about
Boyd
it.
went for less. Anyway.
Hey, congratulations to Collingwood and Brisbane for making the granny. It takes, such effort, and the best teams make it.
Yep.
So congratulations. Hope Collingwood all break their knees getting out of their team bus.
In.
And I hope all Collingwood supporters break their knees getting up from what we said last time in the review. Preview.
Carl, what do we say to them after they lose on Saturday?
Cop that in the mouth, lit.
I'm dying. I don't know if you've noticed. I can't stop coughing. I'm fucking dying.
Jeez.
I haven't slept in like 3 days, man. I had Moose as a roommate.
It wasn't that bad.
He was
Hey, Moose.
bad and more.
Must you sleep with your hat on, or
No, I had nothing on. Ask Andy.
No. He has nothing on except his TikTok on loud.
no? Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. All right, gents. Farewell. Good night. Sayonara. Speak
Stick
soon.
it now.
See you, boys.
Fuck you, Collingwood.